Happy Sunday. This is Asia on America on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, Asia Core, aka Hood Oprah. I got Miss Mika in the building. Say hey to my people.
Hey y'all.
I have a great story with Miss Mika, but before we get into it, I always want to do my housekeeping notes right off the top. It's wintertime. I looked out, it's
Yeah.
snowing. I'm like, man, they say Chicago only got two seasons, construction and winter. So
Construction ain't no season. They're going all year long.
I guess so. I guess so. A lot of people always talk about when it get cold, how they tired of Chicago. I for one, snow is cumbersome, but I like that we live in a city with changing seasons because it's just like a representation of life.
Yeah.
You evolve through everything you go through, so you can't appreciate the summer if you don't have cold and winter. You got a book. Well, I want to get into that, but I do my book club, and my book club submission for this month. I'm sorry, for the month of December is my friend Tanisa. We went to grammar school together. We went to high school together, and she's just a phenomenal person. She's a principal at a high school, and I just love her dearly. And her book is called Lessons and Blessings. It is a book of poetry she wrote. It's on Amazon and it's at Barnes and Nobles. I'm waiting on my copy to come through in the mail. Your book, A Mother's Love. Tell me,
collaboration.
it's a collaboration book. Tell me a little bit about it so that I can let I see it's a couple women on here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that before we go into the show.
Well, this book was more so. This was my first co-author. And I did this with some ladies that I was on tour with. I toured this year on Art of Transparency. We went all over the country telling our stories, testimonies about where we've been, and then we decided to do a collaboration together. We also are working on another one, Where's My Parent? That won't be out until next month, and my own book comes out next month too.
I love to see women authors. That is so dope to me.
My own book.
I love that.
Not collaboration.
No collaboration. Okay, and I have my small business shout out for the month. It is a new place called Dynasty Tap Room, 6330 16th Street in Berwyn. There's a young gentleman. His name is Zoe. He was a promoter. He's now turned into a bar owner. So congratulations to him. You guys make sure you go out and support. So, like I say, today's show is about survival. This book is a good segue. It's A Mother's Love. I see on the back it got a little excerpts about things, and being a woman is a very hard job. I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world. The strength of a woman sometimes is not appreciated, but it's something that we have to do. Unfortunately, and I don't, I'm not a male basher, but men sometimes are able to leave and walk away and not be the parent. More oftentimes than not.
Sometimes.
More oftentimes than they should, But women, we always have to stay there and go through whatever and still be a mother. So, Keith, he's a co-worker of ours. He shout out to Keith, friend of the show. He messaged me and told me that, he was like, I gave your information to this young lady that worked with us at the job. He's like, I really think that you should talk to her and have her on your show. And you messaged me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wow, like, that's a lot. And she just still ticking. I definitely want to have her on. So thank you for coming on, being transparent, being vulnerable and open, because, I always say I show my pain so others can know that they could heal. And I think that it's important for women, especially of color, that go through so much, to let people know that you don't got to be so hard all the time, regardless of what life throws at you. So if you don't mind, just take it from the top, boo.
Where should I begin?
Wherever you want to.
Okay. Well, I am a single mother of 3 children. I've been divorced 9 years this past year.
Congratulations, I don't know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm a survivor of a lot of things. I've been a ill person, a ill child since I was 6 years old. I battled with Graves' disease at one point, which is a autoimmune disease from thyroid. I became hypo and hyperthyroidism, and then years later I ended up having radiation iodine, and then years later I ended up with Castleman's disease.
Now, let the people know what that is, because when I read it, I had to do some background because I never had heard of that before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, So just tell my guests a little bit of information about that, if you don't mind.
Okay. Castleman's Castleman's is extremely deadly. There's three types of Castleman's. I had the worst one, multicentric idiopathic disease, which I had 24 tumors.
Mm,
I've had 16 surgeries, and the disease basically attacks your lymph nodes and enlarges them in multiple areas, depending on what kind you have. It's multicentric, and then there's unicentric. Unicentric is one, so somebody can have just one, and they have a 92% survival rate. Me, on the other hand, I only had 5 years to live once I got diagnosed when I was 32 years old. I'm 40 now.
praise. How did you overcome that? I mean, the surgeries I know had to have been tumultuous. I know going through that type, and also being terminally ill and having those pre-existing, I'm sorry, things
Hmm.
before. How did you persevere to get through that?
I didn't have a choice.
I know that's right.
I didn't have a choice to get through it because it was only me that was going to be there to take care of my kids. And that's what I survived for. If they don't know that they've accomplished anything in their lives, if they're listening, I would like them to know that they need to take a bow and understand that they saved my life, because without them, I wouldn't have done none of this.
A lot of my friend, we have a lot of conversations, and she told me one time before, either you're gonna sacrifice your life for your kids, or you're gonna sacrifice them for yourself. And a lot of women, take the latter. They be
Mhm.
like, F them kids and do what they
Mhm.
need to do. And they want to jet set across America. They want to do this and they want to do that. And everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. However, we talk a lot about, mental health. A lot of that starts in the home. If we don't make strong representations of what to do and how to do it starting in the home, that's how a lot of people are broken.
And that's how childhood trauma decides to creep
Absolutely.
in your adulthood, because you didn't solve anything.
Absolutely. So you say that you had terminal illness diagnosis at 6. How did that impact your childhood? You know, being sick. I have a son. He's autistic. He's 12. He's nonverbal. I could just, and I mean, I can't equate the two, but I'm just, the way that I can envision it. He lives differently than most children his age.
Mhm.
He learns differently. Everything's different. I could just only imagine how he feels because we can't communicate that way. As a child growing up being sick, how did that make you feel? Did you feel ostracized? Did you feel
I,
different? Did
I
you?
definitely feel like a outcast, and I was able to still, as strong as I was as an adult, surprisingly, I was just as strong as a child. I just went about it the way that I ultimately believe that what you see has a whole lot to do with how you decide to go about things. I watched my mother be sick, but I
Mm.
watched her keep going. So that was a lesson to me that, okay, you in pain, let's go. Hey, you don't feel good? Let's go. So as a child, I just kept going and being a kid, but I grew up fast doing that.
And we sit here and we talk about it very cavalier about being a strong woman, and yes, that's an awesome trait. But so many of us have to, just shit or get off the pot. It's like
That's
we,
it.
we we don't we don't have a choice to sit down and reflect,
Mhm.
to grieve, to cry, to mourn, to be excited. It's always you have to keep going one foot in front of the other. You know, I got a child with autism. I'm not allowed to have those breakdown moments because I got to get up and go to work in the morning. And I got two adult sons who getting on my nerves, and I got to tend to them, and I got a son who's on his way to college, and I have to sit down and write papers and help him with applications.
Mhm.
And then I have friends who need me. I have my show. It's like I never have any time to sit down and just, breathe. And sometimes I feel like that's a testament to who I am and my perseverance. But sometimes it gets very daunting, always having to be strong. Sometimes I don't want to be
I
strong.
don't, not right now. Not today. I'm actually having I'm here to speak because that's my assignment. I'm supposed to do so. I didn't go through this to keep it to myself. So today I am having a moment, but this is This strengthens me to help somebody else.
I appreciate you working through that because, like I said about this strength, I want to cancel too because I'm having a day. You know, I'm being transparent with you and my guests. I'm having a day. You know, like I said, I have older sons.
Mm.
They're going through some life changes, and as a woman, I can't give
Mm-hmm.
them what they need. I can only orchestrate and try to give them the keys to be a functioning adult.
That's all I can do for
That's
them.
all I can do for you. But I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
man. I can't guide you and take you to where you need to be. But I also
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be a glutton for punishment either.
Exactly.
You know. So I do appreciate you working through that to come. So out in the green room, we were speaking with a young lady. She was very nice. I liked her
Mm-hmm.
energy, and we were talking just shooting the breeze. And you spoke about you having COVID.
Mm-hmm.
How did that, in addition to all what you've been going through, how did you get through that? Because I know, like when you gave me the when we were speaking in the inbox, you said that you had to teach yourself how to walk in and all type
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. Like,
Yeah, I lost all my muscle mass in my legs. I was not able to walk. I was not able to breathe on my own. I had to be on oxygen for 4 months. I was in the hospital 3.5 months. I was on a breathing machine, um, and I just couldn't. I was 21%. My lungs were 21%. I was on my way out, like literally out, and I was literally giving my insurance bag to my mom, and I told her, just I can't tell my mom I can't do this. I can't stand here, lay here with this thing in my throat and in my nose. I can't do it. The respiratory therapist gave me two options. He said it's either you get on this machine or you lay here. And I was willing to lay there
hmm,
and die in my peace. But then I had to think about my kids. They don't have nobody. It, if I leave, who's gonna take care of them? So I went toe to toe with that machine. I gave that machine 24 hours. Not me, but the machine. Because I'm very stubborn. And
you a
nobody, I
Sagittarius?
am. My birthday, December 15th.
Yes.
You're not going to tell me what I'm not going to do. So you're not going to tell me that I can't beat you. So I'm going to try. So I was back out of ICU the next morning
mm,
on the regular floor
24
after
hours, huh?
24 hours.
What do you where do you pull your strength from? And I know we said you don't have a choice, but sometimes people give up very easily.
Hmm. It's easy to give
It's
up.
very How do you dig within to give yourself those pushes? And it's easy for us to sit here and say it, but if we're here as vessels, you telling this story, me having a platform, it's easy for us to get up here and say, yeah, 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 yeah.
Hmm.
But as we talking to the people, how do you dig deep within to pull yourself out of ruts, to pull yourself through times of despair, to pull yourself out to say, I got 24 hours with this? Where do you gain that strength from? How do you gain that strength?
I gained my strength through my own confidence. I had to build my confidence back up from up the ground because I didn't have any. So my confidence to to know that I can make it through something has gotten me through a lot of things, and that stubbornness, and also just a question: do you think that suicide is selfless?
I think it's a selfish thing.
Okay.
I think it's
How
selfish.
much strength do you think it takes to kill yourself?
I think it takes a lot.
Exactly.
I think it takes a lot, and that's a selfish thing to do because I'm gonna take these pills. I'm gonna do that. That's being selfish. You're giving up. You're not thinking about the consequences of your actions. You're only thinking about yourself at that time.
That's the moment that I can tell you I'm the weakest link
Mm,
because I don't have that strength to take myself
me
out. I
neither.
don't have it. You just naturally have to take me. Okay, I'm not about to just give it to you like that. So I guess mentally, my stability in my mind is much stronger than what I think it is, and that digging there and understanding that without me, and I know what my kids can and cannot do without me, or my family can't do with or without me. So I think that I selflessly live, not thinking about how stressed I am about it once I'm done.
I feel that way too. A lot of people, a lot of people see me laughing and joking and out at the bar. They don't be having a clue
Mhm.
of what be going on internally. I have to, sometimes it's a struggle to get out of the bed. And not because I'm just, oh, so depressed, but stuff weighs on you. It wanes on you, it lays on you. We also talked about in the green room that you and earlier that you divorced. I'm divorced as well. I was with my ex-husband as a child all the way up until I was 37 years old. We got divorced and I lost my mother and found out my son had autism at the same time. That was a very like, so my mom gone, that's my best friend, I'm the only girl. The only man I've ever been with since I was a kid, he's gone. And now my son just been diagnosed with this with autism. He can't speak. I don't have my mother to talk to. It was hard to, go through that and function. How did you, again, having these things, your terminal illness, your calcium and pulling the strength, and then go through a divorce? How did that impact you as well? Because again, it's easy to sit here and say, "Oh, I just pulled through," but I'm sure that there was some times where you were like depleted, or maybe not. You,
I
because
was
the way you look
I was let me look at y'all. Look, I was definitely depleted. Okay. But my divorce came about because of domestic violence, unimaginable abuse, lifetime movie
mm,
abuse. I've been, my husband put me in the basement, locked me up for days and sometime a week at a time. I was pregnant with my son. Um, and then outside, the basements in Indiana are different. They
mm,
outside at the bottom. So I was put in a basement all because I wanted to go to a laundromat. I've been stabbed in my hip with a sharp object and bled all over the car because I wouldn't drive a getaway car for him.
mm.
Um, I had I was trying my best to escape that, like to try to get away from him, and it just wouldn't work. And people always ask people that go through domestic violence, why you stay? I was staying because my ex husband had people he can just say jump and they gonna say how high. I had to wait until that person was gone until I started fighting. And when I say I started fighting brutally. But ultimately, I ended up getting sick really bad at the end of it before I decided to walk away. I was in surgery. I had 52 staples down my stomach. I was getting a tumor removed. And I was getting up out of surgery. He wasn't there. I didn't know have nobody there. I never had nobody there. I was always in the. My mom stayed home to watch my kids, so she supported me the best way she could. So he was not there, and I got up to go home and everything, and I went home, and another woman was in my house,
Oh my
and they
Lord.
moved me and my kids' things out in the hallway,
Girl, you gonna make me cry.
and I'm sitting up here dying. So when he saw me, he like, oh, I see a ghost or something. Called the police on me. Told him that I'm about to hurt him and his this lady that's in the house. Came outside with another child in his arms and drove away. So that's how.
Girl, this is deep.
Yeah.
I'm about to cry, and that's no joke. I'm very emotional like that.
So that's how I got away. So God got his way of pushing you. He has his way of pushing me because he pushes me out of a lot of things that I decided to just sit there and wait on. And that was my breaking point. And I had gone to the courthouse, filed divorce without him knowing, used our old address because he wouldn't divorce me. He just wanted me to linger around until he finished doing what he wanted to do. And now he gets to go off while I struggle to try to find a way to raise his kids. I get to sit here and do it and not care, not now no care or no money, no nothing from him to deal with raising his son that's driving me nuts and tearing my family apart. But he gets to go and start his life over. He gets to go have another family. He gets to go be with the same woman that was in my house. and have a new life while I sit here and try to repair mine. So it's either get up, it's like really get up or die. You know, it's either do it or not. And that's how I made it through divorce.
Girl. Um, what are some, because we seeing a lot of domestic violence lately, with
Mm-hmm.
entertainers, a lot on social media, a lot of young men, taking their lives, taking their spouses' lives. What are some things, some flags that you can let somebody know as they're probably in a relationship and seeing some things but not really understanding, because love is blind. Sometimes a woman told me, you never know you in quicksand until you stuck. So drops of sand keep burning at your feet and you don't even know that you can't move until it's at your knees. What are some of the things that you could tell any young lady that's listening, that might be watching, about some red flags about, being in a domestic violence situation?
The first red flag is yourself. I say that because we try to fill voids within us. We need to find out why we there in the first place. Why are you with that person? Why are you attracted to that person? You have to find out those things about yourself first. And if you can't figure out, if you think running, because that's what happened to me, I was running from my own things that I was trying to avoid. Not having a dad, being abandoned as a child, even as a grown adult, my father has done some things that I probably wouldn't even speak again. But not having those open spaces is enough room to give you to go and make a decision. Ultimately, half of the things that we go through, some things we don't want to take accountability for. A lot of the stuff we decide to do, and then when we get there, we're like, oh my God. But we decided to go. We decided to stay there. We decided to deal with it. So yes, I'm taking accountability and where I ended. So the first red flag is yourself, paying attention to what you need and what you're trying to fill it with. Two, I think that we are attracted to, the law of attraction, right? I think that the things that we are attracted to, we got to find out why we're attracted to them, because it all comes back to you. We be pointing fingers at other folks, not taking accountability for anything, just saying, oh well, somebody else did it. No. So I'm all for accountability. I'm accountability queen.
Me
So I'm
too.
not gonna even say that he was a red flag. I can see. I got common sense. I know that that's not right, but I dealt with it anyway.
You need to tell a joke. Make Whispers laugh. Girl, it's getting deep. Make me laugh, sis. I don't
I'm sorry.
know. But do you know what movie that come from, don't you? Hoodlum.
I remember. Yeah,
Hoodlum.
okay. Yeah.
That's one of
Make
my
whispers laugh.
that's one of my favorite movies. Uh
I'm
account
sorry.
accountability is accountability is a lot that we struggle with in our race.
Mhm.
We have a bad deal of taking accountability for ourselves about situations we get ourselves in, about our progress in life, about just everything. I had a show about this like last year. What Why do you feel as though people can't be accountable for their actions, and is it easy to just push stuff off on other people?
Of course. Why wouldn't it? It would be easy for me to just say, "Hey, God gave me cancer. God gave me this, and God gave me that, and my mama did this, and my daddy. And the reason I can't be a good man is because my daddy wasn't, and my mama wasn't here. Everybody wants to blame everybody else for their stuff and not take no accountability. Who wants to say it's my fault? That's the problem. Nobody don't want to say it's my fault. They don't want to admit that they did something to cause a situation.
Yeah. So this is the part of the show. It's called Succotash. Oh, I need this interjection. Succotash is a native dish. Is popcorn and all things mixed up into one. It's the part of the show where I let my guests talk about anything. They can talk about funny, it could be reflective, it could be on topic, it could be anything you want to do. It's the part of the show where I let the guests be the guests and girl, talk about something. Give the people something on succotash.
Shoot, y'all, I don't know. Why everybody always talking about relationships? Every place you look, everybody talking about relationships, and nobody got nothing else to talk about.
No, they don't.
Like everybody's gun ho about a relationship. Why everybody so stuck?
I think it goes back to what we were just talking about, accountability. Nobody wants to understand that you have to be alone, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Have that space to be alone. So it's easy to get into a relationship with somebody so you could bounce off what's not right in your life with that person in the hopes that they'll fix you. That's what I think. I try my best not to talk about relationships, although that's what I get the most commentary on when I post my questions of the days.
That's because everybody is so stuck on being with somebody. Like, do you know how to be by yourself?
No, people don't know how to be by themselves. I just was talking to the guy that I'm dating, and I was saying maybe because, like I said, I was in a relationship since I was 15 all the way until I was 37. After I got divorced, I'm out hanging out. Now I'm just now really being by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I never lived alone. I always lived with my ex-husband. I've only lived on my own 3 years. I'm just having my own room.
Mm-hmm.
I had to share the room with my brothers, share the room with my kids, share the room with my man. I'm just now having my own room, my own space. And a lot of people don't want to be alone. And as humans, of course, we're naturally in tune to be with somebody, but it takes a lot to be by yourself because you could look in yourself and say, well, you messed up at what's not good about you. Whatever goes on. And a lot of people don't want to do that. You got to think about.
I think it's dangerous too.
It is.
It's dangerous to be by yourself for a while.
It is.
Because you start learning some stuff and you're like, hey, I can do this myself.
Exactly.
And we don't want to talk about that though.
Exactly. And nobody wants to be alone. And then again, social media, the driving force of the day. Every time we look around, there's somebody with relationship goals and vacations and matching pajamas. So the need to be,
it's the pictures too.
Yeah, it's the need to be included. The need to validation. I got a man too. We doing this too, and then get into situations where they're not probably being treated correctly, being cheated on, not have healthy representations of love. A lot of people don't even really know how to love. A lot of people don't even know how to love themselves. And if you can't be by yourself or love yourself, how can you really expect to have a healthy relationship with somebody else?
Exactly.
But I don't know. My succotash was we always invade, and I said this out Chicago, we always invade other cities. We just invaded Detroit. We done invaded New Orleans. And they went down there. Why don't y'all have somebody invade us?
We have been invaded.
By who, girl?
Immigrants.
I knew you was going to say
that. We have been. And don't get me messed up. I'm mixed up with a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. But I'm just saying they have taken over everything. And then they come here and they able to get resources that we've been here all our lives and we can't get nothing.
But again, sis, a lot of us don't want the resources. We don't want the help. It's easier to say, oh, what they ain't doing for me than to get up and go and get it. Yesterday, I was coming from the bar. I live right by the 15th district. So one day I left the bar and went there and did a whole expose, girl. I had my camera out and was talking like they laid on the floor. Girl, one of them called me a nigga. She can't speak a bit of English. Then called me a nigga. And I said, this, and everybody talking about help them. And I'm a humanitarian at heart. But these people don't like us. Why should my tax dollars be funded for this? And I got a child special needs and it ain't not a program in sight for him.
No, because my son is, they want to say he's autistic, but he's like borderline. But he has like a disability because he was born deaf. He's not deaf now. He had surgery on his ears, but They don't give you no resources
It's
for
not a
anything.
resource around. And
Mm-mm.
and if it is, it's somewhere out in Timbuktu, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
where you can't get
You
to.
got to take a day trip, pack a
Exactly,
lunch.
exactly. So why should my dollars be used to fund this? You
Mm-hmm.
know. But I knew when he got elected and he was at Jose Juarez High School, I already knew what was going on, you know, and he ran on the premise. And I mean, by all means, these are the views of Asian America, not intellectual radio. By all means, politicians, do what you do, but don't run on the premise of I'm a West Side black mayor and get in here and don't look out for your people, because you ran specifically with that in mind to get them
But
votes.
also, just because you have someone of color that's running does not necessarily mean you have to go and vote for them just because they look like you. Just
But
because they look like you don't mean they're going to do the right thing.
our people are hook, line, and sinker, dead to rights, wrong, and they do it. They've been doing it for years, ever since Harold Washington came into office. We've been bamboozled to vote for us and vote for Democrat. And you know, in my opinion, the Democrats want to keep you subservient. They want to keep you
Mm-hmm.
dependent on government assistance. They want to keep you down. They want to keep you one foot in the workforce, one
Mm-hmm.
foot
In the
in the
grave.
grave. You know, they don't give you nothing to sustain yourself and give you the quote unquote American
Mm-hmm.
dream.
Try to get a business.
Uh, but they gonna get them.
Indians, they gonna go right to the bank with their flip flops on, and they gonna get funded quick.
Yeah,
That's all
that
I'm saying. That so yes, we have been invaded
we
more than
have.
enough times.
How do you feel about that? Like, you know, like on a human scale, I do feel bad for these people.
Yeah, I feel bad
I
for
feel
them.
very bad for them, but I also feel bad for the people I see every day on the
Mm-hmm.
street. You know, that we help with no fanfare. I don't take cameras out and announce, you know, what I'm doing, but I do it all the time because
Mm-hmm.
it's needed. What you say, this is my mission. I'm hood
Mm-hmm.
Oprah. This is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what my story is and what my plight is. So I do that all the time. So yeah, but we don't have enough resources or time, energy, housing for this situation. We really don't.
And unfortunately, this is a red and blue thing.
Definitely.
So this isn't more so that are necessarily that the mayor let it happen. This is more, money talks.
BS run a marathon.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's
So that's all it got to do with it. Ain't got nothing to do with just particularly him. It's a red and blue thing, and red pushed out the people because they wasn't, they weren't going for it, and they
exactly
pushed them out. Though if you see where they're coming from, where they're being bussed in from,
red
they're
states
being bussed in from red states, and they pushing them off to
on the blue
us.
states. Yep.
So
Because we sat up there and made ourselves a sanctuary city in the name of money. But if we know anything, we've learned anything from slavery, we know that people are commodities.
hmm and we just a number.
And we just a number, and these are new commodities for them to exchange on the
Mhm.
stock exchange.
Indeed.
So, A Mother's Love, you said this is a compilation. I'm thankful for my book. I didn't know you was gonna send this to me. Tell me a little bit about this. Like, I know you spoke briefly about it, but I want you to get a little in depth with it if you wouldn't mind.
Well, my section. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't read the other.
Girl,
I didn't read the other people. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Well, I didn't read everybody. So I just,
you a mess.
but I had my section because I needed to give credit where credit was due with, which is my own mother. I had a single mother that did the best she could. I have the greatest mom. I wouldn't never ask God to give me to nobody else. So I had to just elaborate on where I get my mothering skills. So I knew that if I had to be a mother, I needed to amplify what I needed to do as a parent.
Mm,
So that, and then speaking about, going through illness and going through domestic violence and surviving those things and just everyday, you know, life that I had to go through. Every day I get up, I got to battle something. I just lay in my bed like, I got to, what is it now?
mm.
So going through that and raising kids and raise them the way that I did, I had to pat myself on the back a little bit and give myself some credit. And I
As
think
you
as
should.
mothers, we don't give us ourselves enough credit. As soon as they make a mistake, oh my God, oh, we break down
Internalize it,
and think
blame
we didn't do,
ourselves. Mm.
we thinking that it's something we did wrong, and it's not. So my section is more so about that and being the mother I am.
It takes a lot of strength to speak about the ills of self.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a very fake world where
Mm-hmm.
people live in facades,
Mm-hmm.
live in pretty houses with dirty kitchens, just a figure of speech.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it for you to be this vulnerable, to be this transparent with all that you've gone through? And I know it's for you to tell these stories, but I mean, man, just hearing that one story about you, that was like, man, I could not come out and tell people that nothing like that.
And
You know what
mind
I'm
you, I
saying?
couldn't at first. I wasn't able to tell that. I was embarrassed by that. But then I'm like, I need people to understand me behind closed doors, because people got me so misunderstood. People take one look at me and just think, what, I got like a platinum spoon in my back pocket? That joint is rusty. Okay. But it's just, I I take it, and I feel like that's my assignment, because I just don't think that nobody that's been through all this stuff, because that's just one story. If I got so many of them, you think you just shared a tear, you be down here on this floor.
Don't do it to me.
Okay.
Don't do it to me.
So that's just one part of the story, and me just sharing my story with somebody may help another woman, and maybe another man. Men go through domestic violence as well. So I could help anybody with it. I just know I wasn't given this just to be like, okay, I went through it, and it's impossible for me to believe that. So that's what makes me be able to speak on where I've been, even if I'm embarrassed by it.
You got some things coming up. You said you got your own book, not a co-book, and you what is the name of your mentorship? I'm sorry, I'm so dead.
Trading trauma for wisdom.
Trading time. Tell my viewers a little bit about your book coming up and your mentoring thing, because first time us meeting today, you are a remarkable woman.
Thank you.
You are a remarkable woman. I'm very blessed that you even wanted to come and share that with me. When people come and do this with me, girl, I be feeling like I'm gonna win a Pulitzer Prize. I ain't gonna lie to you. I swear, I be like, because these are the type of conversations that we need in our communities. It's enough about talking about this and that. It's people with real stuff going on, persevering, getting through. Like I said, I never even heard of Castleman's disease before. So I'm very thankful and blessed that you even allow me to have this talk with you. But tell us about say it again, right? I forget.
Trading trauma for wisdom.
Tell us about this, please.
Trading trauma for wisdom came from, obviously, me. Trading trauma, I'd rather trade my trauma for the wisdom gained through what I've been through than to take my trauma and use it as an excuse on why I can't do something. So that being said, I want to put that in and apply that on everybody that I encounter. So I decided to make that coaching program so that I can talk to people and help somebody out of the situation that they're in, let them see beyond their own pain, because sometimes we be in so much pain, we don't even know it's pain, but it's trauma from back then, and we're not recognizing it. And I think that recognizing your pain and validating that it's an issue within yourself will keep you from making not valid decisions, mistakes with permanent circumstance. And I would like to help somebody not go there again or get out of whatever it is they're in. So that's young boys. I'm learning that from dealing with my son. So I'm willing to mentor anybody.
Quick question, because we both kind of spoke a little bit about our issues with our sons. I don't know if this resonates true with you, but sometimes I feel like I'm out here, I'm helping people, I'm doing God's work, and I just cannot get through to the person that I born and bred. Like I could see somebody on the street and they picking it up, no problem. But the person that's in my household, he can't grasp that. Sometimes it makes me feel like, am I doing this for naught? Am I even good at what I'm doing? Like I'm really out here saying this and doing that, but the person that I raised not even getting it. But then I look at one other son and he own it, he own it. Do you have sometimes feelings like, man, like I got these incredible journeys and these life lessons, and I'm out here motivating and coaching people, and my son can't get it? Do you sometimes have any feelings of like, I don't want to say let down, but I don't know what the feelings is. Do
It
you?
is. It's let down. It's feel like you failed them, but the truth of the matter is that they failed us
Oh,
because I gave you everything. I put everything on the table for you. I gave you a house to sleep in. You never came home and the water was off. You never came home and the heat was off. You never been cold. You always had something. You always been. My kids been to 43 states.
mm,
They 21, 15, and 13. Been everywhere I could possibly take them. Anything that he asked me for, I try to get it. If I can't get it right now, you'll get it. So for him to have the attitude he has, I'm not blaming me for that. No longer. You failed me. I didn't fail you because I tried. And I think that they just think that, oh, that's mama. She can't tell us nothing. And we just had this conversation, him and I, before I came here, which was quite disappointing. But he's longing for a male figure, and I can't give him that. At least not right now. What you want me to do? Go outside and handpick somebody? Say, hey, come here. I can't do that. So I don't think that we failed them. I think that it's exactly what it is. They failed the assignment. We gave them all the work, all the book work, all the lessons, and they still not getting it.
I needed
Sometimes,
to hear that.
yeah,
Thank you. I needed to hear that because
yeah,
I beat myself up a lot.
yeah, I do it every
I do.
day.
And then it's also hard, being a mother and not having your mother. My mother been gone 8 years, and it'd be like I be just really needing that. We talked in the green room about how women are not nice to each other. It's very comforting to be able to speak to
Mm.
strong women.
And that's why I want to do what I want to do.
It's very comforting because sometimes that fills voids for
Mhm.
me. To talk to women that have been through storms and came out of it and are still nice and can
Mhm.
still appreciate
Yeah.
life and still laugh. You sat here and cried, and I'm so happy that you was able to laugh right after that, because a lot of women carry that hardness on us, and it goes through us for the rest of our lives, and we end up being so mad, so bitter, so
I
angry.
ain't mad at nobody. I ain't bitter at nobody.
It's been just like, girl, I'm crying again. I'm tired of you.
Don't be like that.
I'm tired of you. But again, I just want you to, because we almost out of time. This hour be going by so fast.
Mhm.
I just want you to, from the top to the bottom, give my viewers, my listeners, the best advice you can about overcoming obstacles. And I hate to say strong, because I hate that we have to be strong, but for lack of a better word, the amount of strength that you possess as a beautiful Black woman is amazing. So if you could just, from the top to the bottom, give my viewers and my listeners any words of encouragement, any type of, nugget for them to take and hold on to them with for the rest of their days, I would love for you to share that.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that illness is mental. Everything is mental. The way that the way that you go forth with something is all about how it turns out. I always say those who cry first laugh last. And I say that because you're gonna cry first, but you're gonna get something out of it, and you'll be able to turn back and laugh at it. Cause it's some stuff I've been through, and I'll be like, what? Like sometimes I look at myself and I have to look down because I'll burst out in tears because there's no way that I can sit here and read that my survival rate was 5 years and I'm sitting up here getting ready to turn 41 years old. So also, I want you to understand that God is able. God is in the details of your journey, every mile taken. I take that very seriously. I am myself in spiritual warfare as of right now, but I still believe in God tenfold. Nobody's gonna tell me nothing because I look at myself every day. There's no way that there's nobody out there that's holding me together. But also, you need to look at your worth and add Illinois tax, and don't let nobody take you from your normalcy. Even if your normalcy is toxic, I just don't give nobody that much room to make you miserable. You are worth more than that. Don't let nobody put hands and bruises and hey, and domestic violence is just not touching. Domestic violence is narcissism, manipulation, and all kind of things. Get your own stuff. Always have your own things. If you have your own place, he can't put you out. It's I just feel like just having your own stuff and having your own mind and thinking for yourself and having that confidence for you makes a big deal in how things end. How they start is how they end. If he start off beating up on you and talking crazy to you, it's never gonna stop. It's gonna stay there. If you start out cooking for him and cleaning and he ain't doing nothing, it's gonna always go that way. People get comfortable and complacent. You just don't get comfortable. Comfortable is not a good feeling. Like, dang, that's it. I
Right.
need to be uncomfortable so I can move. Being uncomfortable doesn't necessarily mean that I'm tired of being uncomfortable. I don't like this. It makes you move, right?
Right.
Makes you
Absolutely.
change.
Absolutely.
So I would rather be uncomfortable than comfortable anywhere.
Again, Mika, I am so happy that you came to talk. I
Cause
really
man, it
am.
was a day. Well, I was
I
like,
I really am. I really am. Even with you having your day and you still came, it's a testament to who you are as a person. I appreciate it. Because, like I said, I was kind of having a day too. So I appreciate the energy that you came, even the little nuggets that you just gave me about my son. I appreciate it. Always a friend to the show. Whenever you want to come back, just let me know. Again, before I get up out of here,
oh, in my book too.
yes, you didn't even say nothing,
I'm
girl.
sorry. I'm sorry. my book, my book that it belongs to me. Okay, it's not a collaboration. It's called The Birth, the Fall, and the Redemption.
When is that coming out?
I'm trying to get it out by next month. I know my book coach, he probably like, Shamika, because I've been going through so many different things and I had a whole lot of speaking engagements. I just came back from one not too long, a few weeks ago in St. Louis. So I just been so busy, but soon it's possible.
Thanks for coming here before you shoot off into the stratosphere, baby. I see it coming. Thanks for blessing little old me on my little old show before you get off into the stratosphere.
I'm just Shamika.
I
Yeah.
sure appreciate it. But before I get out of here, let me again. My December book club submission is my friend Tanisa book. It is called Lessons and Blessings. It's a book of poetry. It goes right, it coincides with everything that we've been talking about today, which is awesome. Also got this book, A Mother's Love. It is a compilation book of the appreciation for the mothers and the love of
Mhm.
mothers.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make sure I read everybody's excerpt, not just
Okay.
yours.
Okay. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon as well. And small business shout out is the Dynasty Tap Room, 6330 16th Street in Berwyn, Illinois. Make sure y'all go check that out. Tell them who Oprah sent you. Again. This was very powerful for you to come here and speak to me. Um, I like to go back and watch tape always, so it helped me get better. I know when I go home, I'm gonna cry about this. So, peace and blessings to you
To
forevermore,
you. To you too.
forevermore.
I appreciate you having me too.
Happy Sunday. This is Age on America on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm Hood Oprah, and as always, I love y'all. Girl, I'm sick of you.